HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special edition of HCAM News. Tom Nappy here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's Best Of edition of HCAM News, we look back at some great memories from the first 6 months of the 2023 year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. It was a fun day at the 20th annual Sharon Timlin 5K. Some of the festivities were moved inside due to expected rain, but a good time was had by all, and much needed money to fight ALS was raised.
Well, for me, because I get to run the course every year, the chance of rain was so high, we were concerned what might happen, but like always, the people that support the Angel Fund, they all come out, and it was crowded and fun and cheering, and still the hard 3 hilly miles of Hopkinton that we love. But the support for this race in 20 years that we've had it has been unreal.
Yeah, it's been an amazing day. I mean, it always is. It always turns out great. The volunteers that support this race and do everything, the things that we can't do day to day, so much appreciated. Always a great turnout. The people are great. It's so good to see repeat runners coming in. We were here last year, and you hear the stories of people losing family members to ALS, and it's always a refreshing thing that we get to hear that because it's a connection that we have, just with this small community and the surrounding place. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and the rain held off today for the race for the most part, so that was good.
It did, yes.
Festivities inside today, but it all seemed to work out well for you.
It does. They actually got to the color runoff too for the kids, which is seriously one of the cutest things ever. They all get covered with that wonderful color powder. They look like running Cheetos by the time they're done. It's perfect. So yeah, the fact that it stayed off and we were able to get everything done makes me happy. And I'll say, like, running this race, you see the through the years Sharon Timlin shirts. I feel like we go through the nostalgia of the race for 20 years because you see the same people and they support it year after year after year. It's such a great cause, but it's also the heart of this community just really, really brings people out.
And this being our 20th year, I've probably ran into 15 or 20 people that have walked up to our table where we're signing autographs, and they're like, "Oh, we were here for the very first one." I mean, and of course they don't have a number on them, so I give them a hard time. Like, "You're not running now," but
we got
like,
older.
No, yeah.
It hurts.
Can't do it. But so many people have come out from the very first one to be at this 20th. It's been awesome.
For those that don't know, can you talk about where the money goes towards?
Well, the money goes directly to Dr. Brown and at is it Chan Mass General?
Chan Mass General. So we have a huge contingency of all the scientists and group that help Dr. Brown too. So it all goes for research, and they have come up with 2 more drugs that the FDA has approved, which is a big deal. It is nice, it's nice to see that in 20 years and the way our world is now, to see improvement. Unfortunately, ALS is still not survivable. So the more money that can go to research, the more hope we have. And I think the hope the light gets brighter and brighter every year with Dr. Brown working on this, and everybody in the whole lab is just really making a difference for any ALS patient or any ALS patient's family.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly a great cause, and I think everyone should get involved. For those that haven't gotten involved yet but want to, where could they go to find out more information?
They can go to, for this race, it was the SharonTimlin.org, or go to theangelfund.com, and you'll find everything on the Angel Fund's website for all the different runs they do.
All the charity runs, all the events, yes.
Yeah.
Terrific. Well, congratulations on another great year of the Sharon Timlin race.
Thank
you very much.
The Hopkinton Public Library Foundation hosted the annual Touch a Truck event. A huge turnout was on hand to check out the trucks, enjoy the food, and have some fun while supporting the Hopkinton Public Library.
Hopkinton Touch a Truck today. We're selling lots of stuff from Bird's Nest Italian street food. We have a couple of sliders, meatball, chicken parm sliders, mozzarella sticks, spinach artichoke bites, fried raviolis, and mac and cheese bites. Am I forgetting anything?
No, you got it.
No, so that's what we're serving up here today, hot and fresh. Come touch a truck and grab some of our food. Italian street food, Bird's Nest.
So this is a Humvee. This is our tactical vehicle that we use in the field. We're here today showing it off, getting some pictures with the kids, having a good time.
That's terrific. It looks like there was a great turnout here today and a lot of interest in this really cool Humvee you got here.
Yes, very. A lot of soldiers we're gonna have. Future.
Seems like it went really well. A ton of trucks and lots of crowds, and the rain held off mostly, and we're very happy.
Excellent. And for those that don't know, can you talk about what the money's going towards?
The money, event is put on by the Hopkinton Public Library Foundation, and we are an organization that supports programming and, we helped with the renovating of the library, and now we do things to support library programming and other things that they need help with that isn't covered in the budget.
We've got ladder one over here. One of our primary pieces goes through majority of our calls. It's got a 100-foot ladder on top. It's got a pump on it so that we can do a lot of work really fast. We can pull up to a car fire with this. We can pull up to a building fire with this. We can pull up to a car accident with this. We have all our extrication tools on here. So this is a jack of all trades truck. We've had it for about 2 years and we're really happy with it. It's great to be able to show it off to the community today because, it's their truck. So, they should know what's on it and that we're here to help.
Absolutely. It looks like you might have a bunch of young firefighters in the making over here.
Oh, we certainly do. We certainly do.
You having a good time? Yeah. What's your favorite truck here?
The bus.
Bus. What, school bus? Very nice. What do you think of this fire truck? Pretty cool, huh? We are going to take a quick time out. A whole lot more HCAM news ahead. Don't go anywhere.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Tom Nappy here, and we are joined by Hopkinton Water and Sewer Manager and weather enthusiast Eric Carty. Eric, how are you?
I'm doing well, Tom. Thank you for having me on as usual.
Absolutely. I'm pretty excited to talk some weather today because the weather's been kind of a big mystery. There's been periods of lots of rain, periods of lots of sun. The temperature has been crazy. But before we get to that, how's everything going at the DPW? I'm sure you guys are getting into the busy season, correct?
Yeah, so this time of year is busy for us in several ways. Usually it's our highest demand period. Thankfully, the weather for the water side, at least, has cooperated this year. As this time last year, we were entering severe drought. So in terms of that, we're in much better shape. This cloud cover and the rain, although we haven't really got tremendous amounts of rain, has definitely helped us sustain the water so far. Been keeping us going. It's also busy because it's the end of the fiscal year for us, so that's always got us busy trying to wrap up everything, get all the projects in to close out the final bills and process for the year. It's also the end of the vacation time, so a lot of people take vacation this time of year because they start again July 1st. We still have all the projects going on town that are keeping us busy. Amarillo is wrapping up with their major portion of their work. So we're still up there doing the markouts and coordinate stuff with them. Multiple subdivisions being built in town. So we're over there taking care of doing inspections and making sure that those all go as planned. So it's always busy here. It's always something different. So it keeps us going and makes the day go by quickly.
Absolutely. Sure there'll be a good amount of road work you guys will be doing this summer.
Yeah, I think the highway's got a few roads. I think they're getting ready to send their lists out of the roads that are going to be paved. They've done a few already. They've done Wood Street. I think West Main Street had a portion done, the main portion done as well. So yeah, there'll be more to come through the summer months.
And of course, you can find those updates on our website, hcam.tv. As you guys are very good at sending them to us, and we like to get them out there to the public, so we appreciate that. But so weather-wise, it's been a little bit of everything. We've seen we had a dry spell for quite a while, and then we had a whole lot of rain, and then we had some heat, and then we had some fall-like temperatures. So what's coming up next here for this summer? Are we going to get a hot one or a chillier summer?
So yeah, we got to go back to, you got to give them credit. They actually said, I think we did a couple of segments ago, the long range forecast was for it to be wetter than normal, and they had that right 2 months out. Usually those 2 months forecasts are, hit or miss. You usually need to be within a 30-day window, but they had that portion right. May was
hold on, you had it right. That's why we call you the weather.
Well, yeah, I don't do the forecasting. I can't take the credit for that. I follow
you
a lot
look
of
at the data and analyze it.
Yeah,
You're very good at it.
So they did have that right. The forecast going forward is still for it not to. There's no significant heat in sight next week. We're supposed to finally break this gloomy pattern. I want to say, I believe it was May was the sunniest month ever recorded since they've been keeping records. So we were really lucked out with that month. June was, although it was cooler than normal, was still not that bad. It was some definitely. I remember the days we were looking at the thermometer coming in the morning, and it was in the high 30s coming in June. Thankfully, those days warmed up nice. But again, that was good for keeping down on the AC utility bills and all that. But going forward, again, there's still nothing in the long range forecast that's locking in any significant heat. And by that, they usually mean 90s, sustained 90s heat wave going through. Although this week has been very muggy, we've been very lucky that we haven't really had the really high temperatures to go with it. That could make it, that sweltering heat. The sun has popped out for a few minutes here and there, but nothing that's, like last year we had that drought and we had 4 or 5, maybe even more from I remember consecutive days of in the mid to high 90s along with it, which just makes it that much more miserable. So the forecast is for seasonable weather. Next week's supposed to be mid 80s, which is what it's supposed to be this time of year. So, some people, I deem that hot. I like 70s all year round, but I know a lot of people like 80s, and that's what it's supposed to be. So there's nothing significant coming up. The one thing that we've got to watch out for is the tropical storms, the kind of the pattern that we're in, which is hopefully looking to break down. It's just sucking up everything from the Gulf right now, which is why we have the humidity that we do. And thankfully, we've had more storms form in June, named storms, than ever recorded. But thankfully, most of those have not really done anything after they've been tropical strength or reached that and it had a name designation. They've broken up rather quickly and then dissipated. So thankfully, because of the way the trough is set up, they could be pulled right up into New England. So we're waiting for that pattern change to kick where the jet stream shifts and has that blocking that often helps us out and kicks them out to sea. So far, looking forward, hopefully they brighten things up a little bit. And really, we've been kind of fortunate here, although it seems like it's rained a lot. I've only recorded 0.8 of an inch since last Saturday, since we got into this pattern. There's been some towns that have had 4 or 5 inches that have just had the training go right over them with one storm after another and got hammered. So we're thankfully we didn't get into that amount. So we actually could, I hate to say it, we still could use a little more rain to help recharge the system. But overall, I guess we can't complain. We always do as New Englanders, but we had a very good sunny May and not bad June. So
yeah, I feel like we had the prediction for a lot of rain, and there's a lot of storms that are supposed to hit us that just didn't end up hitting us.
Yeah, we have a phenomenon. I call it the Hopkinton split. I may have mentioned this before in the past, but I was told long ago by another weather enthusiast in town here that they watched this from going way back into the 70s. They grew up here in town, and just the way we're situated, being a very high point in Middlesex County, storms seem to head towards us, and it's because of the topography and the shape of it. They seem to get to us and either break up or break around us and go. So we generally are spared a lot of some of the major downpours that come.
The benefit of Hillertown, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of crossing my fingers for some hot weather the next couple of weeks as I'm heading on my vacation on Saturday over to the beach. So hopefully we'll get a few days of hot weather. But so it's looking like, for the most part, a pretty normal summer, you would say.
Yeah, that's what the forecast has been. Like I said, they've been on so far. So hopefully they're right going forward here. And we don't have any surprises. August can always tend to be the dog days of summer, as they say, when we get the really hot months. So, but right now they're just going out through July right now, and July looks just to be normal average temperatures for that time of year right now.
All right, and lastly, I know you're a hockey guy, so I got to ask: any thoughts on the Bruins or the Stanley Cup playoffs this year?
Yeah, just so disappointing. I mean, to watch that team, they had the team to beat, and it was heartbreaking to watch them go out. And unfortunately, I think everybody kind of knew what was coming after that because they just had too much salary cap and the veterans to go. So I like what Sweeney did there. I wasn't a big fan of him before this, but he had a good run there. Losing Taylor Hall, I hate to lose him. I know he's got to go because of the salary cap, and I'm sure David Krejci and Bergeron will both be retiring. So hopefully they can get some new blood in there with some of the younger people that they have. And I like the chances going forward. It just came out with the 100th anniversary uniforms yesterday, and I like the look. It's going back to the Ray Bourque era. Those were some of my favorite shirts. So we got that to look forward to.
Yeah, those are great jerseys. That's excellent. But yeah, I mean, they're going to be a little younger, that's for sure. Yep. And unfortunately, they'll probably lose a lot of that core that we loved for so many years. Yep. But
and one of the goalies still probably has to go because they're not going to be able to afford to keep 2 goalies. So I'm waiting to see how that situation falls. So
yeah, we actually talked about that on HCAM Sports Talk, which Wednesday at 5:30, and the other guys are saying that it probably should be Olmark, considering he's a little bit older. But I said, you're really going to get rid of the best goalie in the NHL
Yeah,
It'd be
it's a
kinda
tough
heartbreaking.
decision. Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. But we shall see what'll happen, and hopefully they'll get a good young group in there. But Eric, thanks so much for talking some weather with us, and hopefully we'll have a relatively calm summer and none of those tropical storms coming up. What do you know when the jet stream is supposed to shift?
Well, the pattern breakdown is supposed to be after Sunday. We're going to get some storms Sunday, and then that's supposed to change the pattern with the jet stream, and then bring us back to some not as humid weather, in the mid 80s. So looking good next week for after the Sunday and maybe Monday morning.
That's terrific. Certainly hoping that these storms will die down over the next couple of weeks. So that's great news. But Eric, I appreciate it, and we'll catch up again very soon.
All right. Thanks again, Tom. Take care.
We have come to understand that there's more to the marathon than running 26.2 miles. And if one just takes a moment, as you have, and think back to ancient Greece, that's really, in the Battle of Marathon, is really essentially the spiritual beginning of the marathon run. And you studied that. So the work that you're doing really, it allows people to reflect a little bit. We have a friend of ours, professor from BU, Dr. Salmons, who believes that every person who runs a marathon makes a personal statement about freedom. So it may not have settled in totally yet with all of you, but this little experience and this little essay contest will serve you well to think about how you can translate this into civics education. And I don't know how much time you watch in the news at night, but the need for people who understand civics and how people should interact with each other in a courteous way is something that's really topical now. So from the foundation's point of view, we really appreciate your work, and we're quite frankly privileged to be associated with the Alpha Omega Council and the work that they do.
Rakshana Raja. Okay, our next award winner is John Kao. Our last fourth grade winner from Ashland is Hannah Cox. Okay, so we'll move to the seventh grade winners from Hopkinton. Our first winner from Hopkinton is Alika Purma. Our next winner from Hopkinton is Ishana Kurana. May you come first? I'm sorry. Sony Sirupkundra. Sony's favorite subject in school is geography. Sorry about that. I misread before. And our last winner from the town of Hopkinton in seventh grade is Tav Chand. Tav? When he grows up, he would like to be some sort of engineer. Congratulations, Tav. Okay, great. So the seventh graders wrote about the relevance of the Battle of Marathon and why would an Athenian have stopped and fought rather than given up the city. Our eighth grade essay prompt is a little different. It's in the book. And it's drawing the connection. Please draw a connection or express your thoughts on the connection between the ancient Greek democracy and the democracy that we practice in the United States of America. This was a 700-word essay, and the judges, actually with all essays, had a very difficult time. We had judges who are educators from the Examined Life program. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Examined Life program, but it's a wonderful program that we work with closely that trains middle and high school teachers as to how to incorporate the classics into their school work. examined life scholars were our judges, and they were all very enthusiastic and happy to judge, but they had a very hard time picking winners. They really did. And several of them said, Nick, I had no idea that it would be this difficult. Really, only 4 per school? And I said, yes, only 4 per school. And so these are exceptional essays. But our first winner from Ashland in the 8th grade is Nina Anoop. To dance. She loves dance class and dancing, and it's one of her favorite things to do outside of reading books. In the future, she'd like to go into the medical field and become a doctor. Congratulations, Anoop. Our next winner from Ashland is Chloe Berry. Chloe's favorite subject is English. Outside of school, she likes to read and spend time with her friends. When she is older, she'd like to succeed as a patent attorney. Congratulations. I didn't know what a patent attorney was when I was in the 7th grade. I barely know now, but great. So thank you. Our next winner from Ashland is Grace Jakes. Grace's favorite subject in school are math and civics history. And our last 8th grade winner from Ashland is Sophia Wanetsky. Congratulations, Sophia. Sophia's favorite subject is math. Our 4 8th grade Hopkinton winners. Our first winner is Sophia Castonogay. She would like to work in the science field in the future, specifically neurology. Congratulations. Our next winner is Hasika Chauhan. Hasika Chauhan. Her favorite subject in school is math and violin. She likes to run, play piano, and draw when she's not in school. Our next winner is Rudra Pachori. Outside of school, he enjoys painting and playing tennis. And for his profession, he would like to become a neurosurgeon or a cardiac surgeon.
It's now time to tell you about some upcoming town government meetings. On Monday, July 24th, the Planning Board meeting will be live on HCAM at 7 p.m. And on Thursday, June 27th at 7 p.m., you can catch the school committee meeting live on HCAM. For more information on upcoming town government meetings, head over to hcam.tv/gov. And for additional information, head over to the town website at hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News. But don't worry, next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. As always, we thank you for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.